and interesting show today.
A very interesting show. We have we kind of went from our normal kind of boxing show a little bit. We're gonna have boxing, guys, but we're going from a boxing show to we're bringing three-time Silver Star winner James McCormick, who's one of the very few living men to have it. I also had the honor of serving with him in Iraq. He was my platoon leader, and so I wanted to bring him on. And I think he ran for Congress this past year. Okay. So we'll see. And then I think he's
what state?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. And
I think he set up a program for agriculture for veterans. It's not on.
No, it's on. But you guys got all the green stuff on, and I got the green screen on. You just see right through it all.
I should have thought better about that. They can't see our hat?
We have hats on.
Your hat is invisible.
Oh, fuck.
It looks like you got no top of your head. It's like...
Oh, yeah? That's even cooler, I think.
We could take it off on.
And it looks like you got a pilgrim hat on, because it just goes to the black screen, but you can see these damn funny looking ears hanging outside.
Oh, really? That's pretty badass.
You silly bitches. We'll have to get like a blue screen or something.
Well, it's not very often that we have green anyway. We should have learned our lesson on that fucking shirt, but...
The sweater was funny.
Yeah, so I think there'll be a...
Let me get the questions in here. But let's talk about some of the fights this weekend. Hey, I'm taking mine off. Look at that. There we go. We did have hats, guys, but like I said, it was hard to show, so...
Hey, Rebecca, I will be sending you a message later. But...
All right, well... So let's...
Got one of fights?
The fights. We did have hats, guys. Ramirez. You gotta turn yours down a little bit. Yeah. Ramirez. Let's talk about Gilberto Ramirez this weekend. How good he looked. You know, a lot of people were impressed with him, but he hasn't fought anybody yet.
No.
He really hasn't. And it's really not his fault because there's nobody in the 168 division to challenge him. They brought that kid in there. Oh, they brought that kid, Ahmed, in there from Ghana.
I don't need that.
It's going to be hard to get to it.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get to it.
You got it. You got it.
I can't get that.
You get it. I believe in you. It's good stretching exercise. I don't think I can get it.
Yeah, there's something to poke at it. Yeah, but the Ramirez fight, you know, I think this right here, man, he is big,
very big.
He looked like a giant in there against Muhammad Ahmed.
Ahmed, yeah.
Ahmed, and I truly think it was. I truly think that you know, he looked. He uses what he's got to fully.
He's not necessarily fast.
No,
he's not a knockout. He's not a devastating puncher.
No,
he builds up,
but he's in great shape.
Yeah.
And he uses that big body because he's a big super middleweight.
Exactly.
6'3".
6'4".
No, a little over. Yeah, 6'3 1/4.
Yeah. 75-inch reach, 76-inch reach.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, I wasn't at all impressed.
I mean, I didn't see him as a world beater like a lot of them have him out.
And this ain't the first time I've seen him fight. I've seen him fight a handful of times, and he looks the same every time. If an Andre Ward was at that weight class or somebody like that, he wouldn't be champion.
No.
You know, if that Super 6 tournament was going on, he wouldn't have been champion.
No.
But he fought it again. What I say is, and you got to give him credit for it. He uses what God gave him.
He does,
you know, and he uses it to his advantage, and he don't waste it. You know, he works hard, and obviously
good combination puncher.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I can say.
He has your Mexican attributes, what a Mexican fighter should have: good body work, and a hard work, a good work rate. He's in shape, but I think you won't know. The jury's out until some of those 160 guys go up to 68, like maybe Jacobs.
You know, most of the 160 guys are. Jacobs is a big
boy.
Jacobs and Triple G. But
do you think we'll ever see Triple G get to 68? Because He's not having trouble making 60.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
60 is not an issue.
Unless they offer him some big fight, big money fight. But
there's no one 68.
68. Yeah,
75 would be the only way to go. I think that's where you'll see Romero's before anything else. You'll see him at 75 because that's where the money's at. That's a money division right now at 75.
Yeah. And then the main event.
That was
the co-main event. The Filipino kid.
The Filipino kid. That kid looked good.
I personally think that I don't think he's as fast as Manny Pacquiao. Yeah. I don't think he hits as hard as Manny Pacquiao. I mean, I couldn't even put them in the same category as speed and power. But I will tell you, what was his name? How did you pronounce that?
I don't remember. I'm going to say his name. I don't want to say the kid.
Yeah, but I
Jerry?
will. Yeah, Jerry. Yeah, Jerry. But I will say about him though is he's not as reckless as Manny Pacquiao. So I don't think you'll see him get caught like Manny Pacquiao did in a lot of fights. Pacquiao got dropped on his ass a lot in certain fights for jumping in, and obviously, Marquez was just a perfectly timed punch, but he still was hopping in on that too.
Yeah.
This kid, he's less reckless. He's more conservative as far as that comes. But he fights. I mean, I've seen a lot of Manny Pacquiao on him too, though. Just the way he throws the punches out there and his feet. I mean, you could tell that Manny Pacquiao was and influenced him.
Oh yeah, you can see that. But I don't think he doesn't have the athletic skills that Manny has. So
no. I think at that weight, he seems strong at that weight that he's at now. But talking about him being a 3 or 4 weight class star,
yeah,
not even close.
Well, I think that weight too. I don't know if he's going to be the best in that division, being that you have the kid from Thailand, the kid from Thailand, yeah. And you have Quadras, and you have Chocolatito going down, so that don't matter. But we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting with him. But other than that, though, he was another one. He fought a good, solid fight. I mean,
he hits hard.
Yeah, and he got better as the fight went on.
He hits hard. He's fast. We don't got a lot of questions today, so
everybody's a little sluggish.
Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I mean, and we got so many good fights coming up. We got Brandon coming up soon. Brandon and Danny Garcia. And I don't think we've really touched on Brandon and Danny like we really should have.
We talked about it the one day, and that was it.
Well, I think people are sleeping on Brandon Rios. I think they're not giving him enough credit. Guy's a 2-time world champion himself. Yeah. And I don't know. I think we talked about it too. People are not seeing the intangibles in this fight.
I was never really sold on Danny Garcia being a great fighter.
Yeah.
I don't think he is a great fighter. I think that he is definitely a little bit step above gatekeeper. But at the division that he's in, at 147, I don't think that he's going to be. Obviously, he's not going to be a champ. So, do you keep him as a gatekeeper? Is that what he is?
Not yet.
Well, I mean, but he's not going. I don't think he beats any of the top champions.
I don't either. I don't see it.
So, but with Brandon, like we were saying on Brandon Rios, yeah, Brandon Rios has been pro for a little while now and has been through some wars. And I'm not saying this because I was out of the same stable as Brandon Rios, but
yeah,
Brandon Rios, I mean, he comes to fight. I mean, it's hard to really go against somebody with the balls and guts like Brandon Rios that he's coming in there and he's letting his hands go.
You fucking can't hurt the guy. You can't.
Yeah. So
also the thing too is this: their styles do not match anywhere in here. Danny Garcia is one of the worst fighters of fighting on the inside. He hates fighting on the inside. He'll do everything to avoid it. Yeah. That's Brandon's bread and butter.
And Brandon will get to the inside.
He's going to get to the inside on him.
Yeah.
And do you think Danny's going to stay there? No. And
No.
I believe Brandon hits as hard as anybody.
Brandon is more of a wear you down too, though. He's not a big one punch hitter. But Brandon, he could hit though, especially with the body. His combo hook to the head, body, head. He's going to make that a fucking dogfight for however long it lasts, or if it goes to decision. I mean, it's going to be. This ain't going to be like. I don't right now. I just don't see Brandon getting beat up, getting pummeled like what's his name? This kid that stopped to beat him in
Tim Bradley.
Well, Tim Bradley, and who was the other kid? Didn't he fight that?
No, he beat the shit out of Alvarado last fight.
Yeah, there you go.
He beat the dog shit out of Alvarado last fight.
Yeah.
They're both. Well, he's 2-1 against Alvarado. He won on that knockout the first fight.
Yeah. So Tim Bradley. I don't want to blame. I'm not going to make no excuse for Brandon Rios, but I don't think he really knew what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, then you seen that he actually retired right after.
Yeah.
And he came back. I just don't know if he was there mentally for that fight either. You know.
I think he was wearing out. He was burned out. And I'm not saying that he's just going to run Danny Garcia. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying is people are sleeping on Brandon. I don't know if Brandon beats Danny. I have a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is it's not going to be an easy fight.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be an ass whooping.
No.
I mean, I would probably be expecting Danny Garcia to win. I think, but I would have it like a kind of a close, entertaining fight.
Oh yeah, I think you have fight of the year all over it if Danny obliges him.
Exactly. I mean, and it's definitely not a question for Brandon Rios to win, to pull out a decision.
No.
So
and I think it's not a question of stop him on cuts and things like that too. Danny Garcia.
Yeah, I mean, this type of fight, anything can happen. It truly is.
You notice one thing about it, you don't see Angel Garcia talking shit like he does normally in the other fights. He's not fucking with Brandon that way.
No, Brandon's too deep. But Miss Perry got a question. Now that the Canelo Triple G2 is official, what's your predictions?
I got Canelo on this fight. I think we're gonna see 37 Triple G finally.
I'm kind of leaning your way on that, and I think that's going to be my final prediction. I mean, there's still a lot of time.
Yeah.
Before. I think if Alvarez learns from his last fight and works on those few mistakes that the few mistakes were huge mistakes, and he works on those, there's no reason why he can't
get off the ropes.
Yeah.
But
keep the fight in the middle of the ring with his agility and his defense, and you won't get as tired. I know it seems like it don't make sense because you're going to be punching more in the middle of the ring, but he could pick apart more Triple G.
Tom says Danny's going to hurt Rios. Rios doesn't live a life outside boxing. I don't know when you ever seen when you've seen Brandon really hurt. You know what I mean?
It's one of the fights where I can't say, like I said, anything can happen.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time really seeing it right now. The only thing is, I could go back to a couple of years ago, the Bradley fight.
Yeah.
What happened to Rios?
Well, Danny Garcia is not Bradley. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Okay, we can put it that way. And again, anything can happen. But if Brandon Rios is coming to fight like Brandon Rios fights, I see this being a fucking dog fight. I mean, I see it getting nice little heated exchanges by these guys.
And we saw Brandon against Aaron Herrera, who is a contender, and he beat the shit out of Aaron Herrera easily.
Yeah. And
that looked like a different Brandon. People are not remembering that. He fought recently, and he looked fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, you give him credit. I mean, Brandon Rios is not a type of dude, the way he fought and the way he's fought in the past, that you totally say he's going to get, the fight's not going, it's going to be a mismatch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the comment was, Melissa had made the comment, rooting for Triple G, but it would be hard for him to get a decision. And I agree with her. It'll be hard for Triple G to get a decision because I think that they know Triple G's getting older, and they want to pass that torch to Canelo because they know they have a lot more years with Canelo than they do with Triple G.
Yeah. Canelo may go down with 100 fights by the time he retires because he's so young.
He's already he's already at over 60.
Yeah. That's the thing is, so when you make a prediction, you leave it to the judge's hands anymore. I mean, you could be dead on about a fight.
Yeah.
And your decision is totally fucking your pick is fucked up because of how bad it goes. So it's hard.
What people got to remember is we're just making picks too. We're not fucking experts. You know what I mean? We're in no better position than they are. You know, than anybody else is making picks. But
Tom, go ahead.
I think the difference is we actually know the guys, so we know what their work rate is, and we know what goes on in and out of camp with them.
Yeah, Brandon, he's seen Danny beats. Yeah, Franco. I mean, again, I'm not saying that Brandon's going to win the fight. That's not what we're saying.
No.
But we don't see Danny Garcia walking through him in a cake fight. You know, a Caprice fight.
I think Danny's going to get caught hard in this fight because he's going to get woke up. You're just not going to walk to Brandon Rios. The guy averages over 110 punches a round.
Yeah. There's going to be a gut check for Danny Garcia in this fight.
And I think, like I said, I think people are sleeping on Brandon Rios. I think Brandon Rios, and I would not be surprised at all if Brandon Rios stops Danny Garcia. It would not shock me one bit.
Yeah, Frank goes on with it. Oh, yeah, that was...
Oh, shit, we better say something nice about Brandon. Don Leary's on. Brandon Rios' trainer's on, guys. He's spying to cuss us out.
We have been saying nice things. I'll go over and punch Donald right in the ball sack.
Punch him right in the chest again.
What's going on, Donald?
You want to plug that in, Kelly, for when we get our guest?
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, there's so many big fights coming up and so many arguments and things going on with boxing. I think we're due for a better year than 17. I really do. Which is going to be hard to Steven, Danny gets on the inside, he's going to get caught. That's the thing. Brandon is one of the most ferocious and one of the smartest inside fighters in the business. Now, I know you guys are scratching your head, but slow the videos down and watch Brandon on the inside. It's fucking amazing. Brandon will move his... I'll defer to Kelly on it too. But Brandon moves his head shoulder to shoulder. He never gets caught clean on the inside. On the outside, he'll get caught. On the inside, you ain't fucking with Brandon Rios.
Yeah, if you can box on the outside, like Bradley did a little bit, and you pick the shots. But what we're trying to say is that Brandon Rios on the inside is a tactician. You know, he could fight. I mean, he puts his combos together. He puts his punches together, and he can hit. He's not, like we were saying earlier, he's not a one-punch knockout guy, but he's got pretty heavy hands, and you will feel that throughout the fight. I mean,
he knocked out Peterson with one punch, and knocked out Antione with one punch. And
well, yeah, he definitely he can hit, but you know, it's not.
I know it's accumulation.
That's not what he's known for. But yeah, so I mean, Danny Garcia is going to be in for a fight.
Well, the thing is this: what do you do with the guy on the inside that's beating you up and you can't hurt, right? Do you remember on Rocky when he said, "We don't want that kind of man in our lives"? That's exactly what they're going to fucking say. You don't want that kind of man. Win or lose, you don't want him in your life.
No, that's why it would be a gut check for Danny Garcia.
And I don't think that this fight was the best choice for Danny Garcia. I think I would have went another direction on that. Like somebody, anybody in the lower half of the 47 division. I think taking Brandon was
he was better off just shooting for one of the top guys.
Really? Because now if
he gets beat by this, I don't think he loses. Danny loses his fight. I see it hard for him being.
And we'll also say this. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Anthony. Yeah, but Ricky Valentino says Rios might get stopped. Yeah, he might. And if my sister had a ditch, she'd be my brother. No. We don't know. We don't know the situation.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Did you guys watch The Good Doctor last night?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Dude, the new show is better. The Resident is better than Good Doctor.
I like The Resident.
It's better than Good Doctor.
I wasn't going to watch it.
It comes on at 9. Resident comes on 9. Good Doctor comes on 10.
How long has The Resident been on?
This is third episode.
Yeah. All right, so I can get on in a man.
Yeah, it's a beast, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Well, we're back to boxing, guys. We're talking about medical shows. We're fuckers.
What's better?
It's good. Yeah, I don't know which one's better.
The Resident is more realistic, though.
Yeah. I wasn't going to watch it because I was like, another fucking doctor show. And then I watched it and I was like, that's pretty fucking good.
See?
I'm not saying it's not. I'll go take the time whenever I can to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
The Good Doctor was good last night, too, though. In case you wonder, we're talking about TV shows, guys. This is what our show does. We get all 80.
Because you said about if your mom had a dick, she'd be your dad. And I said if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Hey, did you watch that? Yeah.
And then the episode last night,
he wanted his dick cut off, yeah. But no, like
or she wanted her dick.
What do you get? This is what you get when your show has 3 guys with ADD. Like in boxing, on baseball, and basketball last night.
Cancer.
We were watching clips on Brandon and the Lakers. You know what I mean? We're just fucking look at Bobby Clamchez on.
Bobby Clamchez.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't want people to sleep on Brandon. I think when it's all said and done, people will appreciate more when Brandon's done and over with. They will appreciate him more for what he did. There's a guy that's always came to fight, and win or lose, he gave you a fight. He never robbed a fan out of his money, out of your money.
No, he does come to fight. That is very true. Favorite Super Bowl commercial?
Oh shit! The Giants commercial
with Manning.
Manning was my favorite. Dude, it was hilarious.
It was queer, but it was good. It was good.
Yeah, I really like Pink's national anthem.
I did. You know when people come on, fucking haters come on and say
about everything.
And you know she had the flu for the entire week
you know
before.
when she spit that, the people thought that was gum she spit out? That was a lozenge that she took out of her mouth because she was sick still.
Yeah.
I'm like, you sorry motherfuckers. They will bitch about any fucking
Pink could fucking sing, dude.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody says Pink can't sing, and believe me, I fought it for a long time because
I knew she could
like
sing.
everybody's like, oh, she's good. I'm going to do it because I don't listen to that type of music. And finally, man, it is what it is. Good is good. I was like, holy fuck, that girl could well.
I'd like her to give her my Pink thing.
Fuck
People
yeah.
were praising Justin Timberlake. I thought this shit sucked.
I
Justin
thought Justin sucked too.
See, and I think Lady Gaga last year was so much better than Justin Timberlake.
Pink edged Whitney. You know what? People were gonna say if Whitney was alive, would people say that? No, they'd probably say Pink edged Whitney. You know, whatever. Like that's the comparison right now to who's saying it better. Whitney Houston's a fucking great dude.
Whitney was the best. You can't. Whitney was the best.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Dude, honestly, I think it was every bit the same. I could actually think Pink was better.
Motherfuckers from different countries were crying.
But what I'm saying, if Whitney was still alive, not everybody would have that same opinion. You know, that's what happens.
No, yeah.
But, Whitney's a fucking dude. I mean, Whitney's Whitney Houston, but dude, you can't take nothing away from Pink.
Pink did great, man.
It was phenomenal. And just imagine if she wasn't sick, and it was well documented she was sick all week because.
You know, Steven, I agree, but I think it's going to take more than social media to attract boxing. I think boxing gets stuck in their ways of thinking, and they haven't changed it. They're not willing to change the way they think and the way they do things. So they attract that 35 to 65 crowd, you know what I mean? And that's where they're always going to be at.
Yeah.
They need to change the way and market their fighters different.
Well, it's going to be hard. Well, I'm hoping it's not hard. Last year was one of the best years in boxing in a long, long time, 2017. I think if they could keep it the same, try to compete with last year, that's what's good with boxing. Like, it will keep the sport great. Good. You know what I mean?
Well, but also this too. Look at the UFC and what they do well. I mean, let's face it, UFC is not doing great right now, but what they do well is they attract that younger demographic by treating their fighters like fucking rock stars. They come through with the fireworks and the lasers, and you know what? That's what kids like. And that's how you attract that.
But boxing never had to do that. Boxing's been around for over 150 years.
But that's why we've stayed with the same demographic, has attracted more. When you know what? When people start dying off, it's hard to get fans.
Okay, now I know what you're saying. To me, MMA is bigger on a little better on a regular basis. And who knows now? Let's give it a little bit more time with the ESPN fights that Top Rank's doing.
Oh, I agree.
And everything else on the regular cable networks. But the UFC is bigger on a regular basis more, but their pay-per-view is still not compared to like the Canelo Triple G and the big fights.
That's
in boxing.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm not comparing the fights, or I'm not comparing the numbers, the money coming. I'm comparing the way they market their fighters. The UFC markets their fighters much better than boxing does. Let me tell you why. Lomachenko is well known, but he's not universally well known.
No.
Okay, now you call Conor McGregor. Everybody and their mother knows who Conor McGregor is. Ronda Rousey, Jose Aldo, they know. Even non-fighters know who he is.
But they made themselves out of being an ass too, though. Like Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor was because a boxer made Conor the superstar.
Conor was a star before.
He was, but nowhere near. And it all mainly started with his superb superstardom was the talking shit about a fight with Floyd Mayweather. Before that, he was the big UFC named fighter.
Conor,
he was not
when Conor fought Aldo, he sold 6.5 million pay-per-view buys. Not many boxing fights get that. That's his appeal. He has all of Europe. All that Europe's his.
I don't think him and Diaz did what Canelo and Triple G.
No, of course not. But what I'm saying is they market their fighters better. Who's that?
Billy.
Hey, what's up, bud?
We only got 2 minutes, homie.
Okay.
Let's hear his
am I on the air? Am I on your phone?
You're on the air. You fucking.
Oh, great. Well, hey, no, I was just calling to check in about that Peterson Spence fight, man. Boy, Spence he impressed the hell out of me. He's up there, man. He proved everything he had to prove. I wasn't that I was doubting him. I just had to see it. I got to see it before I believe it, and I saw it that night against a very game, always hell to beat Lamont Peterson, who I think was really up for the fight. He kind of looked through the interviews and looked before the fight. You could tell he was up for the fight, but he was no match for him. I did not expect him to lose like that.
Well,
I did.
Yeah, I to be honest, I didn't think he was.
We knew going in that Spence was a different fighter. We knew that me and Kelly both met Errol Spence a few times, a couple times, right? Two, 3 times, and we were surprised how big he was for a welterweight.
I think we called it too. I said
he always looked big, but there's one thing to be able to big, but I didn't know he was that thunderous of a puncher, I guess. I mean, Kelly, he almost reminded me of you know, in your prime when he hit him. I mean, with little shots, everything he touched him with, he hurt him.
Yeah.
I mean, he would fucking bang him on the arms, hit him in the chest. I mean, Lamont Peterson's a game top 15 guy. He was just hurting him with everything. That's what you used to do. You would just touch people and hurt them.
Yeah, Spence is phenomenal to the body too. I mean, it's just not really body work.
Yeah, Peterson's bread and butter. He's known to go to the body, but I mean, he was no match. I mean, he really. I mean, you know, I seen him knock that kid that fought Pacquiao, and you know that was great. And I seen him beat Kell Brook, but you know, Kell Brook, I just don't know. You know, but what he did to Lamont Peterson, I'm sold. I am 100% sold. I'm not going to say. I think him and Crawford is 50-50 fight. I wouldn't call him the favorite, but I wouldn't say I couldn't make him an underdog to anybody.
You helped me on my pound.
I was sold on Spence back when he fought Chris Algieri. He had Chris
Algieri. That's the one I was thinking of.
He had Chris Algieri folded up like a baby with a big dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like literally.
You know, he sure did. Now Algieri, he fought valiantly against durable. Very durable. Never been stopped before that.
He's a durable guy.
What's the difference with Pacquiao and he fought a war with the other guy. Who was that office?
The Provodnikov, the Russian, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But no, man. I mean, looking at that guy, I don't know how he makes 154. I mean, he's a big guy.
He does. He's 47.
Yeah, he makes 147.
Oh, that's right, 147. Holy shit!
Come on, Billy, stay with us, buddy.
No. I know he was 147.
Yeah, but you know the kid is 5'10", 5'11". He's a big kid.
Yeah, he is.
Big kid. He's thick, like you said. He's thick-shouldered, thick-chested. So yeah, he's a dog. I like him. He's nasty in there too. That's what I like about him, and I like about Crawford. Is they're both nasty.
Yeah.
They're just like they like to hurt you. They have fun beating you up. I
got a question, Billy. If Spence moves to 54 and he fights Canelo, who wins that?
Oh, I think Spence. I mean, I really do. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to knock Canelo. You know, I don't want to. You know, he went to business with Triple G, and I think Triple G is probably a bigger puncher. But you got to realize, 36 is 36. I mean,
yeah. But here's Billy. Hold on. My thing on that is, I don't want to knock Spence either. I think he's a fucking phenomenal fighter, and that's one of them. That's one of them little areas where anybody else that we said jumps up in weight that they could be a multi-division champ. That's going to be a tough one for Spence, and it's like bad luck timing because Canelo is campaigning at 160. He's fought a big, powerful, and
right. I think that might be the wrong guy. And Canelo, he's an underrated boxer. He's a good boxer, and I think Canelo might actually have he has really good hand speed. I mean, he's not a lot slower than him.
And his defense,
I would be interested.
Defensively, he might be one of the best out there in the sport today.
And Spence is no he's not as quick and nifty as a Mayweather.
Well, let's just say Spence is no fucking Willie Pep.
Yeah.
Let's just
So I mean, I don't see Canelo really having a struggling problem with him.
I'd have to see Spence move up to 54 and take on somebody at 54 because you just never know. Some guys move up and their power just doesn't carry.
I think anybody else at 54, I think Spence beats him. I truly do.
Yeah, I think he turns Laura into cat food.
And the other Charlo.
No, they're both 60 now.
Oh, they both look 60?
Well, one of them is 54 still.
Is he? Jamel, right?
Yeah, the one that just knocked out Edson Lubin at 54. He's tough.
Okay.
But you know, I would think, you know, I guess their main sparring partners would probably never happen. But yeah, you know, it's just a different weight division. It's too hard to tell. I have to just see him in there with a top 20 guy and see what he does because some guys move up weight and it's just not the same, you know.
Yeah.
So what fight, before I let you guys go, what fight are you guys most looking forward to? I know Showtime pulled out that new schedule. What a hell of a schedule. Espinosa's doing a great job for them.
I think I'm looking forward to Mikey Garcia and Lipinets, and I'm looking forward
Lipinets, okay.
And I think Triple G and Canelo.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You know, I heard so much about that Lipinus. I just kept hearing about him. And then I saw his last fight, and it was like, you know, he was good, but I just didn't see him up there like elite, like a Garcia. You know.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. I guess he can bang. I mean, he looks like he can bang. So, you know.
Yeah, what's he have? Like 11 knockouts, 13
seen...
fights. He can punch. No. I think anytime we get to see Garcia is a treat anyway. So I'm just looking forward to see the fight, and you know, we kind of know how it's going to go, but.
Yeah, he's fun. What do you guys think about Broner? Yeah, do you think that's an interesting fight to me. The Broner, who the hell is that?
Oh, Figueroa, Omar.
Yeah.
Omar Figueroa.
Yeah, Figueroa. Because Figueroa, I was never overly impressed with him, but then he blew out. He just blew out what's his face. But that was, I mean, he was finished when they fought.
I got Broner winning that fight. I can't see.
You think Broner?
I can't see a way that Omar can win. This dude has to study all week to slip a fucking punch. He gets hit with everything that gets thrown at him.
He does, and Broner can really bang.
Yeah, I guess when everyone punch his fucking in the locker room, and it'll carry over to the fighting line.
he's still reeling from sparring, you know. Yeah, and Broner can punch. If you give Broner an opportunity to hit you, he will hurt you.
Yeah.
Well, a couple guys, Medina said Broner was the hardest puncher ever fought.
Yeah.
And then Lamont Peterson, I watched the interview with him, and he said, "Man, the thing about AB is no one knows he's the hardest puncher I've ever been in there with."
Well,
he said with spar. So, I mean, obviously he can punch, but the only thing is, Broner can be outworked. So Figueroa can outwork him, and I think it's going to come down to can Figueroa take Broner's punch. If he can take Broner's punch, then he might be able to outwork.
Well, Broner's showed, though, I mean, the funny thing about Broner is that he stills fights, though, in the late rounds, too. He was known for that a little bit. 11th.
Yeah, no, he got hard, but he just doesn't throw the volume. I mean, I just think he needs to put them together more and throw the volume. He switched his trainers. I'm actually excited because he switched trainers. Sometimes it's like you could have the best trainer, but you just need a change, and I think he just kind of needed a change.
Yeah, Miguel Salazar's Figueroa when he make weight, and he's exactly right. That was the point I'm getting. Figueroa makes Adrian Broner look like Floyd Mayweather in the work ethic department. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Figueroa
I didn't know that.
209 pounds last year. His dad said they can't even get Figueroa in the gym to work most of the time.
Really?
Yeah, he was 209 pounds last year. He didn't even make weight.
Are you shitting me? See, I didn't know all these. I don't hear all the inside stuff going on. If that's the case, then he's going to get stopped.
He likes to hang out in the valley and drink beer and fuck whores. I mean, nothing wrong with that. But if you're a pro fighter, you need to cut back on that a little bit.
Right.
But,
well, listen, guys, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. And maybe I'll give you guys a call in. But, yeah, hats off to Espinosa because, you know, I tried to cancel my HBO. I don't even care about having HBO anymore with the stuff they're putting on there. I mean, I try to cancel my membership. I mean, Showtime, I think, is definitely the place to go for boxing now.
True. I agree.
Yeah, I hear you. HBO still puts some fights out there, though, and we got to watch them.
I think ESPN's...
No, of course I say that, but I still have it, and I'll still watch it. But I think I do think if I could only have one or the other right now, it would be Showtime.
Yeah, Showtime.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, guys. You guys have a great night. Thanks for taking the call.
All right, Lau.
That was
Billy Lyle.
Billy Lyle, contender, huh? He fought everybody in the business you could fight.
Good.
Ricky says, my problem with Broner is his output is not as good when he faces a volume puncher. True, I think a lot of that comes from his weight issues. He's weak from weight.
Or that he tried to copy the Mayweather style so much. And,
he's not good at that.
But he just don't know any other way to counter back when nothing's going his way.
That Philly shell, that shoulder roll, is for the very few of the best athletes. You know what I mean? That's not for everybody to do. No. And every fighter nowadays think they can do that.
You got to have this up here to go with the physical ability.
And you have to stay disciplined because when you take a lot of heat, you can't get out of that shell. Yeah. You had guys like back in the day, like Gypsy Joe Harris that mastered it. Floyd, a lot of people think, Floyd brought... No, that shit was going on 50, 60 years ago. But
the other one, what's his fucking name?
Tyrone Everett.
The Italian guy.
Joe Harris.
Was it Basilio fought a little bit like that, didn't he?
Yeah, Carmen Basilio.
Yeah. HBO make a mega fight. Not peanuts like Showtime.
Yeah, well, I think everything goes in. I think everything kind of goes ebbs and flows in boxing. HBO was the name for a while. Showtime did it well in the 90s. HBO outbeat them, then Showtime was back. It's going to come and go as they sign people.
Yeah, it's up to who's ever their favorite fighters are. A lot of people like certain guys that fight on Showtime, and guys like people that fight on HBO.
Yeah, and I think what's the thing is Steven Espinosa and Showtime. I think they pay their fighters a little bit better. And they give them better exposure right now.
Yeah, I think they do.
Fighters promote themselves. Don't promote fighters only when they're the upcoming fight.
Oh, if you got a belt, I mean, I think you have, and you're getting paid $300,000. I think at some point you might have a little reason to bitch. But for David Walters, but yeah, some of them think they should be paid Mayweather money when they're not bringing it to the gate either. Also, though, so I mean, it's up in the air. It all depends on the situation of the guy.
Yeah. Well, the thing with boxing today, everybody believes that they should be paid like that, and that's not the way boxing works. The Charlos, they want to drive Maybachs, they want to drive Phantoms. They're making $300,000 a fight. What the fuck? And then what they
I agree on that. I don't understand that. Fucking guys, I mean, their money, they're not their car by the end of the year, from the time that they fight, that money's gonna be gone after the car and fucking getting the insurance.
I don't get it, but you know what? You know? I'm not saying any names. I don't want to do that. But the thing is, a lot of these boxers, Jamel Ellerby brought it up. Jamel Herring, 2012 Olympian. He just signed with Top Rank. Yeah. Good friend of mine. He brought up too. A lot of these fighters, they live on purse advances. They think, you think, oh man, they got money. No, they don't. They're fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars in debt to their management promotional team.
I know a handful of them, and I know some big ones. I actually called it out one time before, and everybody thought I was fucking.
Yeah.
Oh, he's drunk. You don't know what he's fucked up. And 2 weeks later, it came out all over media about it, and I was right. I got the inside scoop on that.
We talked about one that was. We talked about that one too. Mm-hmm. But we talked about another one of our $5 million in debt.
Yeah. But here's the, going on with that question or that statement there too. See, in boxing, you got to realize and you got to understand your place too. Like, and it sucks, and unfortunately, it's the way it is. If you're 126, I'll even say 130 weight class, junior lightweight and down.
Yeah.
You can't expect to be going in and making big money. I mean, you should be expecting probably $175,000 for a title defense.
Yeah.
If you're in those weight classes. If you're in a cruiserweight weight class, which is not a big weight division, because a lot of times it's what the networks pay too. It's what the networks are giving the promoters.
See, a lot of people don't realize the networks pay the fighters.
They do. There's a basket for the co-main and main event. And sometimes it's even negotiated. The co-main may even be thrown out. It's just the main event.
I have literally said on those boxing pages that the promoter don't pay that the networks do.
Yeah,
and they look at me like I have a cock on my forehead. Like, you don't know shit about boxing. The fucking network pays for it.
Yeah, it's what the networks put in. And obviously the bigger magnitude of the fight, the more that's going to go in that pot. Okay? Then you get into site fees too at certain places. That's why some fights may stay in Vegas. I might be wrong on this, but usually I heard the casinos would pay the promoter the site fee instead of the promoter paying a site fee. So that way they want the 16,000 people.
They call it kickback.
Yeah, and MGM going to gamble throughout their casino.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you are a junior flyweight or a flyweight and you think that you're going to be walking away with a $12 million career, you better figure something else out and become an attorney along with your boxing career.
You better become an attorney or put some pennies in your fucking pockets and get some weight on you.
Yeah, exactly, because that's the real of it. I mean,
Carbajal was making $25,000 a fight, $50,000, $100,000 for Chiquita, and then on the second one he made $1 million. The very first fighter that weight to ever make $1 million, and it never was like that again.
And a name like Michael Carwall too. So I mean, that's where I'm going at. Like, even if you're a middleweight and you're not really a big fucking attraction, you'll be lucky to walk away with $1.5 million for a fight.
Chocolatito and Quadras on their title when they unified at $125,000. That was it. See, Miguel said, hearing rumor that Lomachenko will announce his opponent tomorrow. Of course you know Miguel, you work with the guy. But yeah, but that's awesome. We hope that somebody really awesome is going to fight. Hi, Alicia. But yeah, what a lot of these networks do, and if I'm wrong, Kelly Sherm, he'll correct me on it. He knows better than I do on this. But what they do is the network says, look, we're doing a 10-fight card in fucking Atlantic City. And we have $3 million for this card. So we're going to put all this money into this card, and you guys figure out how these purses are going to be split up.
And that goes between that's up to the promoter.
Yep.
And then sometimes if it's split promotions,
they're gonna split half.
Then it's mainly comes down to that. So I mean, you only got the promoters really only got so much to work with. Now, granted, there's been a lot of cases where a promoter and there's a lot of money in the basket, and the promoter does fucking lowball their guy, but they're the boss too. I mean, your boss is paying you.
Oh well, that happens a lot. I mean, Don King was notorious for it. There's $3 million in the pot, and he's paying Chavez. He's paying Chavez $1 million when he was supposed to get $1.75 million, but Chavez don't know the wiser.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll tell you who's the worst in boxing. You can't get away from him, man. You got these fucking guys all through the sport. The matchmaker and the mediocre managers. How about them? They're the ones that negotiate with the promoter. So they'll negotiate and say a fight's $60,000. The purse is $60,000.
Yeah.
The fucking fighter ain't talking to the promoter. It's the manager. So the manager says, "Yeah, we'll take that fight for $60,000." Turns back around, tells the kid he's getting $40,000 or $45,000, and then taking his fucking 30% on top of that.
Yep, it's happened a lot.
You know what I mean? It's like, and guys don't know this. Like young kids coming into the sport don't realize that.
Exactly. And you know what? That's why you've been huge, and I've been huge. Young fighters, get you an attorney and get you a guy to watch your money, because that shit won't happen to you then. Everything that goes through that manager is in writing.
Yeah, the promoters get the fucking. I mean, yeah, your promoters are a little unfair, but fuck, you get guys like that all through the business that do that shit.
Shit, Steven, I don't know what state that is. They'll get $3,000 to $5,000. Dude, I've known prelim fighters that make $100 a fucking round.
A 4-rounder guy is really is on average fighter gets $400 for a 4-rounder, maybe $600. Talking about a regular guy, that's not
sound bad. I've seen 1,000 or 1,500, but no, 5,000.
I got two, but I was signed with Top Rank and I had a signing bonus. But you're talking about a regular kid who don't have a big promoter. A 4-rounder is like $400 to $600. I mean, truly, it is.
Dude, you want to hear a great story about Brandon Rios? I'll tell you. Brandon Rios just kind of cracked that top 50. You know, that top 50 part in his career where he was like 12-0, 13-0. You know that little space you get where like you're just about to get on ESPN. He hit that. He got a call from Mexico, and they're like, "Hey, we got you a fight." His promoter said, or one of the promoters in Mexico. He said, "How much am I going to get?" He said, "We're going to give you $20,000." He's like, $20,000? What the fuck? Mm-hmm. I'm there. Motherfucker gets down and guess what he finds out? It's 20,000 pesos.
Wow.
$600.
Hopefully it was an easy fight, though.
Oh, I'm sure. But, that's what you got to ask questions for.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, that was 18 years ago when I got the contract from Top Rank. $3,000 to $5,000 for a 4-rounder, unless you're a fucking highly, highly touted fucking amateur, that's high for a 4-rounder. I bet you it's still probably like $1,500 to $3,000 for a contender returning pro. His pro debut.
Katie Taylor made $2,000.
Yeah, $3,000, and I'm just telling you from a contract that I had coming in us in 2000 when they were actually spending money on the Olympic trials and the Olympic trial guys. It was the last year because the 2000 Olympic guys blew it for the next couple of Olympic years after, but it was not $3,000 to $5,000 for a 4-round fight.
David says, David wants how does boxing pay like MMA with $400 to $600 to show and $400 to win? No, they don't. They have one set purse, David. And I kind of wish boxing would go to that system, because I think you'd have fighters work a hell of a lot harder if they knew that they could make, a purse and a half for winning their fight. You know what I mean? And I think that would be pretty awesome if they added that to the system. That's just, But
UFC uses knockout bonuses too.
They give knockout bonuses. Dude, they get knockout bonuses. They get submission bonuses. They get bonuses.
100, I think.
Dude, huge. 50,000, 100,000.
Oh, that much?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Go fight.
If it's a title fight, first round knockout bonus is another like $100,000.
$100,000. It usually matches their purse.
Oh.
But their lower fights will be like $25,000, right? Like
something like that.
Like they'll take 25. It usually matches their purse. That bonus does.
They always announce it on like.
Oh, what was all that shit about how bad they get paid and how low they get paid then?
Well, if they do get paid low.
They used to have that. They had that when I'll tell you a fight they had that with the boxing. When Julio Cesar Chavez fought Kenny Signorani from Youngstown, they gave him, if he knocked Signorani out, and he almost got beaten that fight against Signorani because he was cut. and Kenny was up on scorecards after the third round. And they didn't rule it an accidental headbutt, they ruled it a punch that he got cut, that Chavez was cut on. He fucking went out there and knocked him out, and they did say too that day he had a $250,000 bonus because that was right before. That was right after he lost and he got beat up by De La Hoya, and that was going into the rematch. So if he would have lost, that rematch with De La Hoya was gone too.
Yeah. Bobby Sanchez says, I never had a 4-round boxer that got paid less than $1,000. I didn't know you had a boxer, period. Bobby. We're all confused.
I'm telling you, from 18 years ago, 2000, when I turned pro.
It might be different now. We're 90s guys and early 2000s.
But that's still,
you
it's
only
still.
have to get paid the state minimum, whatever state
Yeah, how much? I mean,
$500 in Ohio.
No, if they get paid $1,000, but that's just fucking ridiculous.
And in Youngstown, Ohio, a 4-round fighter will probably walk away with I would say $600 a club show.
Exactly.
That's what they make. Bobby's gonna come throw his shit out like that.
You know what else the UFC has to do with their pay-per-views though? It's the frequency.
Yeah.
I mean, every month and sometimes 2 a month, and it's all big name title fights every month.
Yes.
Sometimes twice. Sometimes 2 in 1 month.
Exactly.
Bam, bam, bam.
Who's that?
UFC with their pay-per-views.
Oh.
You get hit with it so much.
Yeah, I mean, they're still getting
Frequency.
$40. I don't know, $400 is $1,000. Miguel saying $400 $1,000. Yeah, which is right.
Yeah,
I mean, you're gonna get the bigger guys in the sport. You're gonna get guys like what's the silver medalist's name? Top ranked kid. He's making fucking good.
Spence probably made between $2,500 and $3,000 for a 4-rounder. Guys like that. What I'm saying is, though, your guys that are not that big signed, or even if they got with a big promotional group, but they're not supposed to be like superstars. They're just like signed with them because they were good, and they're going to bring them up the right way. They'll probably get like $1,500 or $1,000 a fucking fight, and if they're not even that high, you're looking at a couple $100 for a 4-round fight.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You couldn't. How could you afford it if you put a show on at a fucking place, a regular club show, and you pay your shittiest guy on the card $1,000?
Miguel said they bring guys.
You got 8 fights.
Yep.
You're fucking. You're lost right there. You're out. You know?
Miguel said they bring guys last minute for Tijuana. I know they do. It's crazy. I've heard stories where they've actually brought guys from like work sites to fucking fight.
You said that pretty loud. Oh fuck, that's funny.
I don't know, but
that's his promotion.
Hey, it's free advertisement.
Yeah.
Chuck will give you money. Oh fuck. Yeah, but I'm not going to keep arguing that. I've seen other guys' contracts too, because what happens, they give me other guys that are signed with Top Rank too.
Yeah.
So they show you the comparison, and mine was more than.
Well, you had an amateur background, a fairly good amateur background. You had a good. You weren't like the average fighter coming in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You were signed. A lot of these guys are signed by these cocksucking these fly-by-night promoters.
Oh yeah, these guys were signed with Top Rank.
But you'll have a lot of guys that are these fly-by-night promoters and them shitty-ass matchmakers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, so and that is true. I've seen that plenty of times too.
I've seen that, Miguel. They need to sell tickets to make their money.
I mean, because you know what, some of these guys could get a big following. I mean, they have big families, this, that. They'll probably make a lot more by selling their tickets than they will on just what the promoter's going to give them.
Yeah, but if you're in Mexico,
for instance, the kid Harley from New York.
Yeah,
he wants to turn pro. A young kid, cool ass kid, and he wants to turn pro, and he wants to fight on the card, the St. Patrick's Day card.
Yeah.
At New York, and like he said, he goes, they ain't gotta pay me. He's like, just give me a percentage of tickets I sell, because he has a huge Irish following, which he'll probably he probably walk away with $2,500. Speaking of that, his pro debut, $2,500.
That kid can fight too. That kid can straight fight.
He can fight, but he's not known.
No,
you know what I mean. So he would, as we're Top Rank, will probably pay him $800. Okay, but if he just says, give me my tickets, he could probably walk away with $2,500 in ticket sales,
or more
for a purse. Yeah, or more.
Look when Oscar did that. When he had his fight at the Olympic, he did tickets with Jimmy Brettle, and he made over $100,000 in just ticket sales. Yeah. But Oscar was making big purses even in his early career.
Yeah.
I think he signed $1 million contract with Ron Middleman and Ron Nelson and Steve Middleman. I think those were his managers when he first turned pro.
See, my thing is, why the fuck would you need a manager at that point?
What?
That's always been a thing that I've wondered. Like when you're at the level of like a gold medalist.
I think probably to navigate your way through. And you know what? A lot of these guys nowadays are shying away from the whole manager thing. They're not. They don't need
get like a booking agent or something like.
Or an attorney.
I got Cameron Duncan. I only gave him a little percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't have a manager. I didn't need one. I was a top rank. But a manager is usually a manager comes in. And they pay for a training camp because you're not
signed. Pay for your apartment. They pay for your car.
This, your boxing equipment, cars, and then but like people keep them all the time too, and they're taking like 30%. Yeah, just them alone. That's before your trainer and everybody else gets their hands in there. So, but if you're a gold medalist, what the hell do you?
You get sponsors.
Damon's asking.
Right? Yeah.
Damon's asking, what about fighters who won't leave their hometown? At what point do you say it's time to take it on the road? I think that's the time when you beat everybody you could in your hometown. And I think fighters know when it's time. When did you know it's time for you to move on, Kelly?
You talking about like fights in Youngstown?
Your local fights in Youngstown and doing so well.
I didn't fight back home until my 11th pro fight.
Yeah, you were in LA all the time.
Yeah, I was in Vegas and everything else. See, here's the problem. Damon, that's actually a good question. Here's the problem about having a prospect or a kid that can fight and you're trying to build him, but you keep fighting him in your hometown. Here's what happens. You get him to 8-9-0. And you obviously he's beating guys that you're putting in front of him or local matchmakers putting in front of him at home. And you get the crowd. He's not getting the experience what it's like not to have your hometown crowd behind you.
Yeah.
He's not getting exposure to anybody else either in the boxing world. There's people that are all these fights, man, that are all over the place that go to fights and watch where he could get picked or signed by a promoter or something like that. A promoter is not going to keep a kid in one area. A promoter's job is to get that kid out there, especially in the early stage of his career, and get him exposure. So that way, that's how you market him and get him bigger. You bring him home like once or twice early on. What happens, these kids get built to like a 9, 10, 11-0 record, and they're fighting these guys, and then all of a sudden ESPN comes and says, holy shit, no, not anymore, but ESPN's like, this kid's we're going to put him on. Or you keep begging ESPN to get the kid on. They say, okay, yeah. But here's the guy he's going to fight. So now your 11-0 kid that's beating up fucking Bobby D and all head over here. Now he's got to fight a fucking tough Mexican kid that's like fucking 9-3 or 8-5, okay? And the motherfucker is cruddy as shit and it comes to fight, and this kid's down shell-shocked. He don't know how to react. He had never been in a fight like that. And you take the chance of having your kid, A, look like shit, B, get beat. So even if he wins, and then ESPN says, we don't want him. So fighting your guy at home all the time is a bad decision. Unless you really got bills to pay, and that's your guy that's going to pay your bills.
No.
So you keep fighting him at home because he sells a couple $1,000s in tickets. I would honestly, if you're going to market him the right way, get him out and quit fighting him in the hometown. A big mistake and I've seen a lot of guys, all over the place.
Darren says, hey guys, Darren James here. Just got out of my first chemotherapy treatment. Sitting at home now resting. I'll be around for more shows, I promise. That's awesome, Darren, and I'm happy to see you at a chemo, and you stay strong for us, and we'll pray for you, buddy, and I appreciate everything. And stay strong, and we're happy to see you back.
Yeah, keep on punching, Darren. Glad to see you back on.
But also, guys, we have a special treat today. We're going to go back to boxing. I swear we're going to get right back to it. But bear with us because we have a special treat today. We're bringing James McCormick in. He's a 3-time Silver Star recipient. He served in the Army. And when I say the Army, I'm talking about a fucking Special Forces badass. Like, he was my platoon leader in Iraq. And this dude's a fucking crazy man. Yeah, and I wanted to bring him on a little bit and see what he's talking about and stuff like that. Cause
this part of the show, I'm probably not going to ask any questions because I don't know what the fuck to ask.
He boxed before.
Okay.
He boxed in the Army back in the day, so you can ask.
No, we don't want to ask.
Well, don't fucking ask about boxing.
I just want to hear, like...
But we can hear a great, like, killing people with his fucking bare hands, like, which he really did.
Like he was foxtrotting across the fucking terrain and grabbed the guy by the Adam's apple and ripped it out.
David, we haven't commented about the Floyd MMA gossip, but we will here in a little bit about him getting in the octagon. We'll comment about
how long we have this guy, James McCormick, on.
No, it won't be long. Because he has an Oddfellow meeting, he said. So let's get him on the line.
Yeah, Steven, that's what I'm saying. It's not good to keep a kid home too long. It's not. I was fortunate to have Top Rank behind me. And like I said, they wanted to get me out there. And we fought in Vegas and fucking Wisconsin, Baraboo, Wisconsin, and Oklahoma. All over the place like that. Denver, Colorado. Oh, you playing that game? I was hooked on that for a while. Our producer gets bored, guys, and he just plays.
Yeah, he does.
Was that? What's that name of it?
Word Connect.
Word Connect. I got that actually on my phone.
It's easy to do. You can still pay attention to stuff.
Good for your brain too.
I like it because I can feed my baby and do it with one hand too.
Yeah. Oh, so you're not hooked on it?
It just makes something to do.
Hooked on this floppy dunk right now.
Hello, this is James McCormick. I'm not available.
We will get him in a minute, guys. Let me message him.
He forgot.
No, he didn't forget.
He was foxtrotting.
We'll get him. If not, we can address the rumor right now about
probably putting people off at his house right now.
Probably killing somebody in the house.
Like Bruce Willis in one of his movies.
Well, he's probably got a bunch of farm animals. He goes out and guts.
What was that one where they were the old people?
Bruce Willis?
Yeah, it was Bruce Willis and like Morgan Freeman was in the first one. They were all retired special forces people or whatever.
Oh, Red.
Yeah.
Was it Red?
Yeah.
The only other one I know a bunch of old retired special forces was that.
They're always retired old special forces
was that
guys.
Jason Statham and fucking even the MMA guy was in it. Expendables or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good. They bring back everybody. That Wesley Snipes was in that third one.
Yeah, but so was Victor Ortiz and Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I found out the whole gig. My buddy that works for Sony Records knows Victor Ortiz and all that. He's getting a nice little deal for those, man.
I bet. Because he ain't getting it for fighting, I'll tell you that much.
Well, he's only getting like from what I heard, like between like 50 and 60, but that's still a lot of money.
It is.
To be in a movie.
Yeah.
Also.
Well, he hasn't fought in so long, you know what I mean?
What do you think about Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia or Crawford?
Oh, God.
We tapped on that before, Raymond. I don't know with Mikey and Loma. Loma's good, but you know Mikey's big. Yeah, Mikey's a very tactical fighter that could neutralize by going to the body, and he can make it a very hard fight for Lomachenko. I can tell you this: I don't see Lomachenko making Mikey Garcia quit on a stool.
No, not at all.
So, Lomachenko will probably win a decision. It's not out of question for Mikey Garcia to win, and you're not going to see a Rigondeaux type thing with Mikey Garcia. He's just a very tactical fighter that got quick hands, and Mikey Garcia's got good footwork. So I don't know. That's and for Crawford to me, I just think he's big. He's a big 140. I don't see Lomachenko going to 147.
No, I don't know.
Not anytime
right
soon. No, obviously.
If he does, he's going to be special. But I think the fight that
it's not out of question. Manny Pacquiao went even higher and started out later than him. I think Lomachenko got the defense to be able to do that, but I just don't see it him going though. I don't think Lomachenko is too concerned on going up that many weight classes. He's no spring chicken either.
Yes, David Walsh is correct. Tim Kennedy is in Special Forces and he's still a UFC fighter. He's with the 10th Special Forces, not 10th, 19th Special Forces group, I believe, out of Utah. I believe that's who he's with. Tim Kennedy is with UFC and Special Forces. But yeah, I actually have met Tim Kennedy a couple times, and he's a really nice guy.
Right. Well, I'm not saying that Pacquiao is not, but if Pacquiao was able to do it, you better fucking believe Lomachenko can do it.
But
I mean, he's big. He's 2 inches bigger than, taller than Pacquiao
he's at least 3.
Oh, what I had listed on tape. So maybe more than 2 inches bigger. He's better defense. He's not as reckless as Manny Pacquiao was. He's faster. So if I'm just telling you, I mean, there's different situations with fighters where you can say, well, this one was able to move up because he could carry the weight. But there's no reason why if Manny Pacquiao could, Lomachenko definitely could. So.
Well, and then they're talking about the Lomachenko and Linares match. Lomachenko is going to overwhelm Linares, and he's going to beat the shit out of Linares. Right. Linares is a good fighter, but he is a good fighter. Linares has been knocked out. He has been knocked out. He's lost 3 times. Let's face it, guys. Lomachenko is one of the most dominant fighters in the business.
Last fight, though.
I think Linares. You know what? He looked good, but he didn't look Lomachenko good.
No,
he didn't look. Linares, just like anybody that believes Linares would beat Mikey, they're crazy.
Yeah. People just still don't want to give Mikey his credit.
They're never going to do that. They're never going to give they don't want to give Lomachenko.
I'm not saying they don't want to give Lomachenko his. And we're not saying this because there's connections with us and these guys. But my God, I mean, if you guys if you can't see it, then that's just you're being naive and you're blocking because for whatever reason you don't like the kid. But he's a fucking legit world champion fighter.
Exactly.
I mean, it's
there just comes along every generation. There comes a couple special fighters, and every generation. And I think right now Lomachenko and Mikey might be those 2 that are special.
The only thing that sucks with Mikey is he just don't fight enough. But when he does fight, look what he does. I don't care. That was impressive with Adrian Broner. I mean, he dominated that fight. And if anybody goes, it was close. You go back and watch it. I watched that fight over and over.
We were at press row. Me and Kelly were literally at press row. We had press people giving Broner the fight. Do you remember?
Yeah. And Adrian Broner lost fights. We know that. Yeah, he's gotten beat. But nobody kind of did to him what Mikey Garcia did. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't a close fight.
I think Maidana did to him.
I don't think as convincing he did, but not as convincing as Mikey.
He dropped him twice.
Yeah,
he just beat him bell to bell.
But Mikey was like outboxing, which everybody said that Mikey couldn't do.
Yeah.
Mikey beat him on the inside. He beat him in every aspect, and he beat him convincingly in that fight.
Damon wants to know, what do you guys think of that Golden Boy schedule? It's hurting, Damon. It really is. I don't think Golden Boy is on his way down like people said. I think Golden Boy's going through a transition time with talent and things like that. Their old talent's moving out, young talent coming in, and they have some big fucking stars right now in Golden Boy.
Golden Boy's here to stay.
Dude, you got Virgil Ortiz, who's fighting for an ABF title in a couple weeks. Yes,
12th or something.
Yeah, he's an amazing young fighter. We're gonna have him on. Ryan Garcia, another amazing fighter. I mean, I think Golden Boy's investing in the younger generation. You know what I mean?
And they're making enough of Canelo to. I think Oscar already had enough, but they're already. Golden Boy is an established, legit promotional group now. They are like in the field of top rank. They're not going to like fucking bankrupt out of nowhere. They got a lot of talent coming up. They have good fighters. They put on good shows.
Well, the thing that people don't realize is Mike or Oscar and his people. They see the big picture. Yeah, it was him. They see the big picture. Other people don't see it. You know what I mean? A lot of fans and even media don't see the big picture. They think, what boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. Yeah. And if it's not happening now, it's not happening. Give it time, guys. But we're gonna have Captain James McCormick on.
Also, the rushing Ryan too much. Okay, we'll end up KO like Chip.
I don't think so. It's not ringing. Oh, yeah.
Hello, this is James
Jam
McCormick.
It. Guys, he just called and...
You hung up on him.
I didn't mean to.
Send him straight to voicemail.
He's going to come cut your throat now.
Yeah.
Shit, fuck this over in the field right now. He's limping around with a bad back and back leg. He ain't gonna do shit. But
Damon said it's Mikey's style. Guys don't want to learn it.
Well, you know, but the thing with Mikey is he is so hard to beat because he's so technically sound. Yeah. It's hard to find a good game plan for Mikey. You can't outbox him. You can't outpunch him.
No, you can't. You can't outwork him.
No, you can't. You know, that's your only hope is to go in there and knock him out. That's all. The only hope you have.
Good defense, and then if you do get lucky and land one clean, he's going to take it. You know what I mean? Like it's just a hard fight.
That being said, we had an issue come up the other day. I haven't talked to you about it, Kelly, but we have a writer that works for us from time to time. Ryan, good kid, Ryan O'Hara, one of the good writers in the business. He's writing for the White House now. He's like a White House correspondent, and he graduated from Embry-Riddle University. Anyway, he had commented on a story that made news that made YouTube, and it made all these other sites, and I'll say straight up what it is. I'm not afraid to say what it is. It was about. Well, I'll get back to story, guys. This is him.
It's a big Maltese right there.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, brother? What's going on?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I thought you were going to do it at 7, so I just thought, well, I was on there running my mouth talking to this lady that owns Black Dog Coffee Company.
Okay.
And it's a veteran-owned company, and they sell coffee.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. We were actually talking about rolling out a brand of tea, loose leaf tea that we're going to use to raise money for the Gold Star families.
Okay, that's awesome. Captain McCormick, you are on the punchline. You're actually live right now.
All right, man.
There you go.
You're on the punchline with James Dominguez and Kelly Pavlik. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How's it going, James Dominguez, Sergeant Dominguez? How are you doing?
Good. I thought of you the other day, and I thought you would be an interesting story for our listeners. They love stuff like this. You know what I mean?
All right.
And when it comes,
I'm down with it.
When it comes to Real Warriors, we talk boxing a lot, but when it comes to Real Warriors, you're the first person that comes to my mind. So I just wanted to put you on here and talk to you a little bit.
Man, that is really cool. It's a very humbling thing, especially coming from you. Honestly, coming from the enlisted ranks and as an NCO myself, I see and saw a lot of me and you when we were overseas,
Yes.
Very aggressive. We were very aggressive. And it wasn't that we were reckless. We were very carefully aggressive, but we didn't take no crap from the enemy. And everybody, that was patient to have.
Yeah.
And a lot of firefights.
A lot of them. What was it? Over 332 separate engagements.
How we lived through it was, it's divine intervention, man. I mean, it's just divine intervention.
Well, I got hospitalized for a while, if you remember that.
Yeah, I do. I remember. But, join the club, man.
You got.
You have to take care of business.
Hey, you had parts of your body shot off all over Baghdad.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was glad to take what I had out of there. I'm glad they didn't take any of the bad part or the good parts away.
Hey.
So, yeah.
Captain, I know I still call you Captain. This way it's always going to be. But these guys do not believe me when I tell you that we came under fire at the airport in Baghdad. Heavy fire. People were getting shot, and they would not let us in the gate because they want to see military IDs.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth.
Yeah, you told about that one.
People were being shot in front of us, and they would not let us on unless we had military IDs. He about killed us.
We ground guard too, I believe. Some of the trucks, to go through the barrier.
Yeah, remember we drew down on the MPs.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. We used some choice language then, but that's okay. It all works.
But you know, sir, I'll tell you what. You were responsible for saving my career a couple times, 2 or 3 times, for me arguing and me trying to fight these higher NCOs. I remember that we were in a talk, and I had yelled at one for sleeping in Baghdad. I remember he got heat in there, and I remember you broke it up, and I remember you took me on a walk outside, and you said, Sergeant Dominguez, you can't do that. I'm like, okay. He said, you remind me of you when I was your age, but we're not going to get very far this way. You know what? Part of me wanted to go in there with you and clean the talk out with you. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times they did really, really silly things. Yeah. And they made issues out of it. Here's the deal. We were in the business of trying to keep people alive and stay alive. But the first priority was keep others alive in our own life. It was always secondary. And people, that's what I call, that is selfless service. Yes. And that is to the highest degree. It really is. I remember that old Easter Sunday, all that banging at the door and couldn't get in the gate, man. Well, we were. My crew was in Mahmudiyah that day, and yours was in Baghdad, and we both got hit at the same time.
Yep.
And I remember I had it out with that captain who was crying, that female captain who was crying on the highway, and I told her
Peter Pants,
and I told her, I said, ma'am, you need to get your shit together, and you need to follow this map and go straight ahead.
Yep. Well, some of you guys stayed off. Some of you guys got left in the kill zone.
I did. Was a bad situation. I was one of the ones that were left behind the kill zone for 3 hours.
Yeah.
They left me. My own the people we were with, these other units, Iowa units.
That was in Iskandaria, wasn't it?
Yeah, Iskandaria, and they got scared when they got hit, and they left us there to fight by ourselves. And there was like 9 of us or 10 of us fighting the enemy by ourselves.
Yeah. I remember hearing that, and I remember the a lot of the stories and a lot of the data that came in. Then of course I remember you guys pulling in to Baghdad, up there at the biop.
Yeah.
And talking to some of them. I mean, and everybody's vehicles all full of bullet holes. But
everybody, and the thing was this too. I just got promoted to sergeant. Literally, like a week earlier. And I was the rankingest guy on the ground at the time. I was in charge of all these guys newly in charge. I'm trying to make...
Yeah, but you couldn't do anything, though. You had to stay.
No, I did. I set defensive positions, and I set a perimeter like we're supposed to, because nobody was going to... We weren't leaving until everybody came. I wasn't leaving my people.
Hey, Captain James, this is Kelly Pavlik here. We got a question from a viewer.
Yes, sir.
Damon Martinez wants to know, how much do you love combat?
How much do I love combat? Well, I hate it. I hate it. I have to be honest with you. Yeah. It always scared the crap out of me, so I can't lie to you. But, I was a boxer, too. I was a Golden Gloves boxer, and I got scared every time I went in the ring. But it didn't mean that I didn't go in the ring. It just meant that I had to figure out a way to bite down and overcome that fear. Then maybe that's not the answer that people want to hear.
No, but I agree. I mean, I know what you're saying as far as James mentioned that you fought before your military days or when you were in the military. Yeah. But yeah, no, you do. I mean, it's a fine line between scared and nervous as shit.
And maybe that was it. Yeah, I'm just nervous.
How many times before a fight I go, why do I do this to myself? Why do I do this? And then you go in there and you win, and then you just can't wait to get to the next one.
Yeah.
Well, but I would tell you, when the combat kicked off, it's just like when we were in the ring. We were very focused. We saw the opponent, and our job was to take them out as fast as you can, and then move on.
And brother, business was good, wasn't it? Business was a booming.
And business was good. It was good. The cool thing about all of that was really, guys, is that we had an opportunity to serve with some fantastic, wonderful people. And I feel blessed every day that I had people like you, James, that was with us. And together, we figured this thing out. We kept each other alive. So, saving your career, well, how many times have we watched each other's back? Hundreds, if not thousands of times. And still do it to a certain degree today.
Yes.
If you needed something, you could call me and we would always show up. And that's just the way that it's
Oh, yeah, I know that for sure. And I remember the first speech you gave us when we were in a provisional unit. What it was a unit from different units that got together because there was no convoy security. Correct me if anything I say is wrong.
No, you're right.
What happened was when the war first started, there was no security. Every unit was responsible for their own convoy security. So they pulled the most, I would say, elite, maybe the most elite soldiers or the biggest troublemakers. They just couldn't figure out which ones. And and guys that they didn't care about losing. Well, they chose me because I was at the time I was a scout. I was 19 Delta on active duty. So they said, "Hey, you know how to use a 50 cal. Go to this unit." I was like, "Cool, we'll go."
Yep.
And I brought over Wells with me because he was infantry.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to the unit and like I said, I remember the first speech and it was the funniest speech, but it actually hit home. You said, "Guys, we're going to go on a mission, and it's dangerous. Some of you will die." I was like, "What the fuck?" He said, "Some of you, but we'll kill the rest for you." I was like, "Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm in."
Yeah, well, that was designed to get everybody motivated and pumped up, and it obviously works.
It worked.
But,
the thing was, the people that loved you, and most of the problems came from the higher up because they did not want to see you succeed.
No, well, there was one time that, there was more than one time. There were people that would say things, and they would try to hurt the soldiers. Come after the soldiers, which, and that was supposed to get at me. But there was a captain one time that called me a walking risk assessment.
Wow.
And and I remember, he walked into the talk, and I spin over and I picked up a rock. And I threw a rock and I hit that damn sign right above his head. And he turned around and looked at me. He says, "You trying to hit me with that rock?" I said, "Oh no." I said, "Oh no." I said, "If I wanted to hit you with the rock, I'd hit you with the rock." I said, "But I'm sending you a message, Captain. I'm sending you a message." And he never said anything else to me again. Never.
Was it the same captain that I corrected for sleeping in Baghdad?
No, it wasn't that one. It was another one. It was a truck company captain.
This is what I don't understand about Captain McCormick. He says, "Hey, Sergeant Dominguez, you're taking the captain out with you." And I said, "Taking me?" Because I'll say whatever I want. Mm-hmm. I look over, the captain's sleeping, and we're in Baghdad. I said, "Sir," I said, "you need to wake the fuck up." I said, "You need to wake the fuck up." And it was on. I knew when I was getting back, I knew I was going to be a specialist at PFC. But I think Captain McCormick went to bat there because I was right. I did the right thing. Well, you don't sleep in Baghdad.
When that mission was over, there was a little bit of you know what? I think he was kind of embarrassed, so he didn't say anything.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so even a captain, you're not allowed to.
Oh no, that's an officer. That's your commander.
Yeah.
But he wasn't putting himself at risk. He was putting me, my driver, and my gunner at risk. You know what I mean? And what I was doing was I was on the road to train him on how to run a mission because we were getting ready. Yeah. We were leaving because these new units were coming in, and there was a lot of division between those units. Wouldn't you agree with the new unit coming in and the old?
Yeah, there was definitely a learning curve.
Yeah.
And I really felt sorry for those guys because they didn't get that same. Now, I will say this, that things improved, somewhat towards the end, but as far as being able to give our advice, the straight up, put the bayonet in their stomach advice.
Yeah.
It was like, no, we're going to go to a different way of putting this message out. So it was kind of like that stateside, training mentality. And,
yes.
And a lot of those guys contact me today and say, boy, we wish that we were with you guys. We wish that we were with you.
Yeah.
But they were proud to be in the 518,
Yeah.
And so, I tell them all that I love them. And I'm proud of all of them, because they took the step forward to go do something that nobody else wanted to do. But you're right. We've got some people that were sent over there. We had 5 cooks in the unit that ended up being gunners. And the hardest part for these cooks is when they got home, and they were in several engagements with the enemy, like you were talking.
Yeah, but when they got back, they were cooks again.
And when they went back, they started to deal with PTSD and some different things. And people would give them a hard time and say, you were just a cook over there. What did you do? And they'd tell them, well, we were gunners, and nobody would believe them because there was no. So I had to write statement after statement after statement for these guys, and I'm like, well, for the VA, for their end of tour awards, and the different things that didn't happen. There was a level of, we call it professional jealousy, but I don't know if any jealousy is really professional or not. I think it's sad.
It's petty. It was petty. It was petty. Are you were talking about for years, I know you and James Bretney, is that correct? You guys were planning on, there's a movie that was in the process. Is that still something that's happening?
Well, James Bretney and I had a falling out.
Okay.
And here's my problem with James Bretney.
Yes.
When anybody from Hollywood gets a hold of something, what we wanted them to do was just tell the story. I said, the story's exciting enough. You don't have to put all of this BS twist into it.
Yeah.
And I said, look, and it can't all be about 1 or 2 people. And he's like, you got to have a key character. And I'm like, well, okay, but you can have several. I said, think of this, as a superhero's story where there's a whole lot of different people with different qualifications. And I never could get him focused on that. And then he started, he got real upset about the awards things, and I battled that thing. I still battle that a little bit, not as much, and most of that's been solved.
Yeah.
But, he got out, he put on the media, taking swipes at the Department of the Army, and I'm like, that's not how we fix this, man.
No.
and I said, and all he did was delay everything another 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And then Jimbo, nice enough guy, combat veteran, a lot of respect for him, great work.
Yeah.
He would be a great, I told him, I said, well, why don't you turn this into a comic book?
Yes.
Because a lot of the stuff you're putting in there is not true, and I'm not going to support that, so you need to change our names. But if you want to write a comic book, that loosely resembles, then I would be down with that as well, as long as it was something that kids could read and learn something from.
Yes.
Dude, I used to read Sergeant Rock comic books when I was a kid. All them comic books, I'd read all them things.
Yeah.
So, but
I know you were fighting for awards for some of the others, like at the time Sergeant Silianos. You were fighting for awards for him because of their accident, the Purple Hearts that should have came in.
Yeah.
Anything ever happen with that?
No, there was just not enough evidence to relate that to enemy fire.
Maybe we should have picked those teeth up off the highway and gave it to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Have you kept in touch with Sergeant Silianos?
Yeah, I did. Well, he's now a major.
He's a major in EOD. Yes, he's a major now.
Yeah, he's a major now. As a matter of fact, he just got married. And I feel crummy as crap because I didn't go to his wedding.
I was invited to, and I wasn't able to make it.
But Silianos has done really well for himself, and but all 3 of those guys, they got hurt really bad.
I was there. That was my team. Remember that we were all together. That was Sergeant Wells and me and Hawk and all this. We were out there that night when that happened. When that accident took place. And I believe that they deserve the Purple Heart. I really honestly believe to this day that everybody involved deserved that Purple Heart. And how you walked away with that, with just a broken shoulder or Damn the shoulder. I'll never know. Everyone else is curled up blood on the street. Humvee smashed like a tin can. He walks away.
And you know what, guys? Here's the thing about that. When I was doing that, walking that dog, they said, we got to have something. Now, I had plenty of statements. There were plenty of statements that, yes, somebody drove by one of the trucks, shot at the trucks, truck swerved, hit the Humvee. Something happened, but it was related to some sort of an enemy contact, okay? Yeah. So, essentially, when that happened, they went to Toledo Air Base to get treated. Yeah. And they got treated by an Air Force unit. Well, we went back a month later. Well, the Air Force unit was there, transitioned out. They were gone. They took all the records with them. Okay. And so when we finally found the records, they brought them in, and the helicopter pilot said, yeah, they flipped a Humvee. There was nothing in it about enemy fire. So, and all three of these guys were pretty much out of it when they went in there.
And they have radio transmission of contact?
Yeah.
I mean, there was radio transmission of contact to the right.
Yeah, there was. There was definitely a contact report. I even sent that in because I had that from the
sheriff net.
Yeah, from the sheriff's net, whatever that was, the daily intel report where they showed contact. And I said, well, here it is. It's a mistake. Well, getting that mistake corrected is still just an absolute nightmare. We've tried and we've had congressional people involved in it. Essentially, what it's going to take is it's going to take us making a trip to the Human Resources Command where they adjudicate these things. Yeah. And sitting down with some of the people that were there to explain, hey, this is what happened. Yeah. Because when you go to write stuff down, it gets lost in the transmission, man. Yeah, it gets lost in the transmission.
True. And Captain McCormick, I want to ask you about your agriculture plan that you've been doing and the organization that you're working with the agriculture for the vets. I think that's a really interesting thing, and we want to talk to you about that. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, when I came back, I hung around for a while, and then I was on my way to Afghanistan, and then I was found medically unfit. So I got medically retired in 2009. Really not what I wanted. I wanted to stay in. I wanted to make lieutenant colonel. I mean, that was my goal, my ambition, my dream. Mm-hmm. And it never happened, and that's okay. I mean, that's, but at the time it wasn't. So I struggled a little bit, getting out. I figured stuff out. I moved back to rural West Virginia.
You ran for Congress? You ran for Congress?
No, actually, I ran for the House of Delegates.
Okay, I'm sorry.
In the state of West Virginia.
Okay.
And it did really well, but I did run for the House, and I lost. But I did win the primary, but I lost the general election.
Okay.
And that was probably a blessing in disguise, because I see how those guys, what they put up with all the time. So I don't want that job, but I went and I just started. I went on and bought a farm, 15-acre farm, bought a house, got married, I mean, I was divorced when I was over there. So, a lot of that was, bitter old grouchy LT, well, I mean, it was bad. It was a bad divorce. And, but, I tried not to let anybody know that. And then, but I met a real good woman. I mean, I started going to church, met a real good woman, found my calling, and we're still married. And between the two of us, she had 2 children, and I had 4. Yeah. And we got married, and I have 2 little kids now. I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old.
Wow.
So and I just turned 50 years old, man. I mean, I'm an old dude now. Wow. I'm old. But the whole farming thing comes up because that's what I did. I mean, I did. We had a big garden when I was a kid, and I always went out. And I really did it because, I was trying to get back home. I was trying to get a piece of my youth back.
Yes.
And I started to plant these gardens and growing just amazing vegetables, And I thought, well, this is kind of cool. And I started finding some peace. Totally quit drinking 2007.
Wow.
I was drinking heavy. I was drinking heavy. You've probably seen me drunk a few times back when we got back. But I'm telling you, I used to get drunk all the time. I'd sit around. I'd drink at Jack Daniels. Well, I noticed that I'd put that away. You know what I mean? I'd stop drinking a little bit. And then I stopped smoking. And then I just stopped doing it all.
Yeah.
And then I started focusing on that agriculture. And then I thought, this is kind of cool. This has helped me out. I'll start my own farm, and I'll try to start this nonprofit, and I'll try to help other veterans. It makes me feel like I'm still part of the game. And so that's what I did. And we started the Veterans and Warriors to Agriculture program. And actually, my farm, Raising Cane Farms, I received an award from the Congressional Medal of Honor Society. It's called the Citizen Service Before Self Award.
Wow.
And they award 3 of those a year. Now, they award 2 for individual acts of bravery. Like the 2 guys I got them with, they did some amazing things. One guy, he took out a guy that was holding up a store with a pistol with his bare hands. The other guy, he rushed into a burning house, kicked the door down, and there was a crazy ex-husband that had his wife and kids locked in a bathroom. So this guy had to fight this guy with a knife, beat the crap out of him, then kicked in the door and saved the woman and the kids. Amazing story. And mine was for a collection of humanitarian acts. But the time that they figured out what I was doing with this farming thing, Dominguez, I had worked with over 1,000 veterans. There were over 500 recommendations that went in from different people all over the country that said, hey, go check this guy out. He really helped us. He did this. He did that. And I thought that was so cool because that is the first time that I got an award like that for not having to kill somebody.
Hey, I'll tell you what, though. Those killing awards are something to think about, though. They're well worth it.
So, but it was really cool, and here I'm in the Arlington National Cemetery and Medal of Honor recipients. I'm surrounded by them, what an honorable place to be.
Wow.
And one of them hung it around my neck, and I said, and he looked at me, he says, now you represent the goodness that Americans have. And I thought, that's cool, man. That was like, okay, I'm okay. I'm healed now. I'm not looked on as a beast or a demon. You know how we were looked at over there.
Still am.
And it's like, those guys are crazy. No, we're not crazy. We're not crazy. We're doing our job. We're doing our job. And our job involved, engaging and destroying the enemy by the use of fire and maneuver. Yeah. That was our job.
To close and destroy.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah. So, but I get involved in that, man. The whole agriculture thing, the veterans to agriculture thing is so cool. Like I jumped on the show talking about Black Dog Coffee and this tea, this Gold Star tea, So I bought a tea company. And I'm going to sell my tea and half of that money that we get on that tea, and I'm talking 50%, baby, of that profit is going to go to Gold Star families.
Awesome. That's amazing.
And we're going to do that, man. And you know what? And just like somebody says, man, that's an awful lot. You're not going to make any money. And I'm like, you're crazy. We'll make money. They'll make money. Everybody will make money. But the main thing is we're going to do something righteous.
Yeah.
We'll do something righteous.
I'll buy some of that, too.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, I'm going to send you guys some of that.
That'd be awesome.
Green tea, or there's several different blends.
I'll take the green tea. It's healthy, too.
Yeah, it is. I drink green tea every day now. Dominguez, I drink it every day.
Oh, wow.
I had a little bit of a cancer scare there.
Yeah.
I had 3, I still have 3 spots on my lung, but, I'm a year now cancer-free, so we're moving forward. I had a battle with skin cancer, too.
That's from those damn burn pits out there.
Yeah, well, that was my second rodeo, man. You know, I mean, I was in the first Gulf War too, and that thing was nasty too. But anyways, so I get involved in this agriculture thing. It's so cool. You get to help people, and people are appreciative. Dude, we have 8 people in our program that had literally, and you got to see some of these videos that we've got out there, but they credit this program with preventing them from committing suicide. And this one guy had tried to commit suicide more than once. Yeah. And since he's been with us, he's a totally different person.
Wow.
And it's not meds, it's not anything else, man. It's just he's found a purpose in life.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, I mean, and then I get involved in the energy thing. You know, you heard me kicking on that energy thing. You know, all this stuff. I mean, all that hardware that we face overseas is bought and paid for by the sale of foreign oil, man. You know, you got all this foreign oil that's being pumped down the Middle East, and it's like, oh, now James, now how do you know that? I'm like, how do I know that, dude? Are you freaking kidding? What else are they making money on over there?
You can see the reservoirs over there.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and it's like, you know, here we're sitting on every natural resource you can imagine, from gas, wind, solar, coal, oil. Heck, we don't have to buy anything from another country, and our allies don't either. If we just produce it and put it out. I'm going to tell you what, if we did that, we became 100% energy independent America. If we did that, Dominguez, and then we sold our allies, we'd break their back in a year. We'd break their back in a year, and they would be just struggling to keep themselves together.
True.
And all of this crap, this radical, crazy, and I'm not going to talk bad about Muslims, but, I'm talking about radical Islamic terrorism.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There are good Muslims out there that hate this stuff just as much as we do.
Yes.
And so we identify that. But it's like they're being funded. Iran, Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia's been in it, Yemen.
Jordan, yeah.
All of those countries. You know what I mean? And it's like, why? Why do we want to... Why in the world, and I thought about this especially after I came back home. I'm thinking, of all the gas that I put in cars to run up down the road and chase women, how much of my money ended up being funneled overseas and maybe bought the cotton picking bullets that shot me with? I don't know.
It's true.
It's crazy.
It's true. I agree.
It's true.
You remember when we were in New York City, Kelly? The Uber guy said, "Hey, don't eat off the hot dog stands. Those are Taliban stands."
Yeah.
He said all the money. In New York, when you eat off a hot dog stand there, that money. The Uber guy, he was Middle Eastern too. He told us that money gets funneled back to the Taliban.
Oh yeah.
Right. Isn't that crazy? You know what?
Yeah, but he was Middle Eastern. He said that the Taliban finances those to bring money in.
Yeah, well, I know they make a ton of money on natural gas and oil, and so that's why I got pulled into Vets for Energy.
Yeah.
And that's just VETS, the number 4 energy.com. Go check it out.
I will.
And we, hey, I'm always looking for veterans, families of veterans that just love their country. You don't have to promote one energy resource or another.
Yeah.
Just promote an independent energy providing America.
Yeah.
And get us off that foreign oil tea. It's just crazy.
Yeah, we're with that for 100%. And like I said,
Texas alone, you can.
Yeah, like I said, it's an honor having you on, and I really appreciate you coming on, and we'd love to have you on again.
Yeah, Captain James. Can I call you Captain James?
Man, you can call me anything you want. I mean, a guy like you, shoot.
Yeah, I just, I'm not trying to end up tied up in anything, tie-hogged or anything. So,
hey, I want to ask you guys a question, man. I want to ask you a real quick question.
All right.
I'm going to, my nose, I got one of the boxer noses, it's like it became a speed bag for a few guys. And so I'm going to go get surgery to fix this deviated septum because it's really affecting my breathing and stuff. Do you guys deal with that too?
Yes. Yes.
I was supposed to have it,
surgery?
but I heard the horror stories. Well, this was probably about 6 years ago. I heard the horror stories that come with having that surgery, and sometimes after 4 years, you'll probably need it again, or you go back to being how you were. And now I heard that they got an easier process of doing it, but I'm not sure on that. So no, I never got it. I probably should.
Yeah, I should too, because
that's part of the sleep app. Sleep
apnea.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's what they found. That's what they told me. They said, you've got sleep apnea. You've got they show, and of course, I'm sure you guys have had the X-rays where they show you that deviated septum. It's like your nose is laid off to the side. And
no, James, have you got the? Did you get the sleep mask for that?
Yeah, well, I haven't got it yet. It's coming in, through the VA. But the only thing that would work with me is the one that goes up your nose. I guess like a snorkel.
See, mine for me they said it wouldn't because my nose gets too off and on clogged to breathe.
Yeah.
So that what you're supposed to have clear sinuses for. So they gave me the mask. But with that being said, if I was you, I would definitely look into that because I didn't know until they showed me the studies and how bad my oxygen level went down. And it makes it don't. It's not a miracle worker, and everybody goes, "Oh man, I slept so great with that." All it does is really make you sleep normal, but it's very important. I mean, the health problems that come from that is horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, the oxygen. The lowest my oxygen went down was 80%. But they said that's too low.
Yeah, because mine went to 86, and they said that's very low. So I could imagine 80.
Now when they put me on that snorkel with it because I tried the mask, couldn't sleep. Tried this, just too much wind on my face, and then when they put that thing up my nose, now they shove it up your nose, and but evidently it opened up my sinuses, and I was able to breathe, and I slept. I woke up the next 2 days. I felt better than I felt in a long time. Man.
Yeah,
I would truly look into that. It'll feel great, and the health benefits the health problems that'll save you. So
and like I said,
I'm coming up to Youngstown, man. I'm gonna come up to Youngstown and see you guys.
Yeah, come by anytime. We'll take you out. We'll take you out for steak.
All right, I'm gonna take you up on that now, Dominguez. Now you're just less than 2 hours from me, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, yeah. Come on.
Yeah, I'm 77, baby. We'll be up there in no time.
Yeah, come on up anytime. We'll take you out to eat.
All right, brother.
Yeah, we even got the girls that cost money. So.
And I'd love to meet you, Kelly. I really would.
It would be an honor. And we had a lot of people on the show, and including me, that wanted to thank you for your service. And that was a great show and great interview. It was awesome hearing that side of it, and along with James, you guys together telling them stories. So
that's my brother right there, man. He's the true deal. He's the real deal. Good man. Good soldier. I can't think of anybody better that you'd have on your back, watching you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Love you, man.
Love you too. I love you too, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, brothers. God bless y'all, and have a good evening.
You
God bless you too, James.
And talk to you soon.
All righty. Bye-bye.
All right, guys.
Oh, yeah. A lot of nice people that enjoyed that. Good Melissa DeValentine, good interview. Bobby Sanchez says, does he follow boxing today, and who does he like?
I'm not sure.
We couldn't get away from we got to get Bobby. We had to get away from the boxing just a little bit.
We had to.
It was too interesting listening to the rest of the storyline with him and James.
Yeah, he was right.
Damon said it was a really good interview. You never hear the ins and outs of military.
No, you're right though. We had 332 separate engagements with the enemy, and I'm still here, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That means I was meant to be on the show with you, Kelly.
Yeah. He's only half here now, and a little limp.
A little limp here. Yeah, I got a little limp. I'm all right. Wow. But yeah, but no, I really enjoyed the show today, and I know that we're pressed for time.
That's neat, people know your I shouldn't say accomplishments.
That's not a
term, but
anybody can do it.
What you've been through, and everybody respects that, and as do I, and your service and everything else, and not too many can relate to what you've been through, and that's why I think that was good.
Well, I think you.
I had to cut the. I really had to get out early today, but it's good to see you be able to finally have somebody to be able to share stories that could obviously relate because he was there with you.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to find the average Joe off the street that's going to relate to it.
It's true. You're right. You know, and that's awesome. And I wanted to bring him on because he is interesting. And there's when this man unfortunately passes one of these days, you're not going to have a 3-time Silver Star recipient left. They are not very many. Most people that earn the Silver Star are dead. They earn it.
Most people get the Purple Heart. Well, the 99%.
This dude literally got his. This dude literally got his.
There to receive it.
No, this dude literally got his thumb blown off and put it back in his pocket. He did. He picked his thumb up and put it in his pocket.
I probably would have done too, though.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, he's taking.
Just in case, like I know there's some way this motherfucker
Dude,
back on.
He had shot. There was an insurgent in a palm tree. He literally shot an insurgent out of a palm tree with a 50 cal. Left pieces of him in there. I was like, oh fuck. But we really did. They weren't landing on base without IDs, and people were getting shot like everywhere, and they went lawless on base.
You told me about that one.
A lot of us drew on the MPs, let us in the gate. Like we can't do that without IDs. Like you motherfuckers.
You guys are just being sitting ducks at that.
And we're like, people are like falling, getting hit, and they wouldn't let us on.
If you would have shot them, I would have felt bad.
Pogue ass motherfuckers. But no, like I said, great show, and I appreciate having the show today. And I'm sorry that our leprechauns and stuff didn't show up because we had the green screen. It was my bad, but we did get some.
We really did have a real life little leprechaun on the table.
But we'll bring him back when we don't use the green screen. We'll bring all that stuff back. We'll save it.
It's too high of a jump for him to get off the table, so he stayed in the green screen.
We just need to get a blue screen too.
Yeah, but how often are we going to use green? You know what I mean?
And would a blue screen show up? Everything still show up on that?
I just have to chroma key it.
Yeah, but when we were blue, it'll go negative.
Just don't worry. Just need to pick your colors.
Dude, you know what would be funny? For a green, get a green shirt and just cut out the nipples.
That would be funny.
We're going to do that. Let's do that next week.
And titties hanging out.
All right, well, that was a great show. And
if you guys have any questions, go ahead and hit the punchline inbox and ask questions, and one of us will get to it. Kelly or me or Alicia or Amy. One of us will get to the questions, and also the boxing shoes. They came in, and we got to get those signed and sent back.
Okay.
We got that, and we'll get them out to you as soon as we can.
Scott is going good. Got to meet next month in Austin Town and around here. Yeah,
and what else we got going on? Oh, be sure if you guys like the show, be sure to click like and share it. Without appreciates for us, it makes new fans and more interesting interviews. The more people we get, we can add more interviews to this. And I think we're looking at going to the
punchline.live also.
Punchline.live, and also And also click like and share and comment on YouTube too. That would really be a big help for us, guys. We're just moving along on YouTube, so if you guys could help us out, we'd really appreciate it. We got some merchandise coming, and we got some pretty cool boxing things, like signed boxing things, Mother Fighters as well. We're gonna start not raffling off and doing things with. So yeah,
maybe keep them.
Yep. So
thanks, Ricky.
So
thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, Ricky. I appreciate it. And also, feel free to ask any question you want. We're always accessible. Me and Kelly both. If you want to ask anything, feel free to ask.
How queer do I look sitting like this?
You look like you're thinking. But thank you guys. Great show, and we'll see you next week.
Huh?
We got Technique Tuesday next week.
I don't know yet.
Okay,
do you guys want Technique Tuesday next week?
You guys want
or do you want a regular show?
Yeah, do you guys want Technique Tuesday or regular show? Come on, Damon, let us know.
We ain't really got much to do with Technique Tuesday right now.
No, all we have is the Errol Spence and
Yeah, that happened. Yeah. When there's, you know what, we'll figure this one out. We'll keep you guys posted on the Punchline page.
But we might have Virgil next week and Ryan.
That's what I'm saying. What are you laughing at?
So we'll see.
What are you doing?
Like I said, we don't script and we don't.
My phone's frozen. What are you doing to us?
Oh, nothing, James. Just saw you.
We don't script or anything like that. We just.
Willie Jenkins is sticking his dick in your ass.
That's awesome. I thought he was gonna start sending people here to look for a fucking couch and a Honda Civic.
We could do that again.
No, don't do that.
Oh, he's got Willie.
Daniel wants us to do a regular show.
Sweet. Well, you answered it for us. Yeah, I think we're gonna try and get the young.
Night of the Prospects.
Yeah, prospects.
Virgil Ortiz. Ryan Garcia, and there was another one too. Oh, that Simon just sent us that he wants to get on the show.
Oh yeah, and we might get another next week. I'll probably be able to do a longer show. There was a kid that's.
I got a meeting that's right across the street at 7 o'clock next week.
Okay.
We'll be fine.
All right. Well, I had to get this one kid on. I told my buddy Noel from Cleveland.
I can be a little late for the meeting, but it just can't be super.
Maybe we'll start at 5.
Thank you, Charlotte. I appreciate it.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, we can start at 5.
So also pay attention to the punchline because we may be able to start at 5 next week.
Yeah, and we also have Michael Conlon coming on soon.
Yes.
Who else from your Irish connection do you have?
Matthew
Macklin.
Macklin.
Yes, and we do have some great interviews. Jesse Vargas coming soon.
Yeah.
We have a lot of great fighters.
Yes, we do.
Coming up, it's just a matter of getting everybody scheduled and put in. And Bobby wants us to put Reggie Johnson on.
Because we got it like that. We know these motherfuckers.
They don't mean they like us. But hey guys, I'll get back to that story next week about Ryan, like I was saying. And about what went on between the camp, between Mikey's camp and Gervante's camp. I'll say something about that. But I don't think we have time now.
Okay.
So we're out.
Peace with hair grease.
It was a good fight, Daniel. Gassiev Dorticos. It was a good fight, Gassiev.
We out.